Hello friends, welcome to my channel Quiz and Storyline. Friends, I kindly request you to subscribe to my second channel, Unknowingly Movie Stories, where I explain this video in Urdu. Today we discuss Leo, a man who has excelled in the Korean War. Currently, he is engaged in a business that brings him substantial profits, and as a result, he delivers his special flowers to 23 states, which he grows himself in his backyard. In 2005, he receives an invitation to the Convocation Award ceremony. Upon arrival, everyone wants to meet him because he has a significant reputation in the world of flowers. However, Leo notices a man discussing online flower sales, which seems absurd to him. This is why he leaves the event. At the same time, his daughter Jenny is getting married and is waiting for her father. Jenny's mother, Helen, informs her that Leo won't attend because his plants are more important to him than their family. This was indeed true, and Jenny has to marry without her father. Leo becomes so engrossed in his business that he no longer cares about his family. As time passes and the era of the internet arrives, people begin to trust online shopping. Consequently, by 2017, Leo's business collapses, and the bank forecloses on his house due to his heavy debts. Now, Leo takes his belongings to his granddaughter Tizra's house, where her wedding ceremony is taking place. When Jenny sees her father, she turns away and states that they should leave immediately because he is no longer alive to them. Hearing this angers Leo tremendously, leading to a fierce argument between him and Jenny. The guests present find the scene very odd. Jenny states that he is embarrassing them and that there is no place for him here. With no other option, Leo walks back to his truck. As he leaves, a man from the party stops him and says he has known him for years and has heard a lot about how he used to deliver packages himself across 22 states without ever receiving a speeding or parking ticket, which is quite remarkable. The man gives Leo a business card of his friend and informs him that they need an experienced driver like him. Hearing this, Leo replies that he is not a driver. The man then tells him that there is good money in this job, which he could use for his granddaughter's wedding. Leo takes the card and decides to visit the address after some contemplation, as having something is better than having nothing. However, he does not realize that this decision will change his life. Leo arrives at a garage located beneath a house. Upon entering, he encounters some members of a Mexican gang. Seeing them, Leo understands what the real job is, as discussions had taken place beforehand. The gang leader places some items behind his truck and hands him a phone, stating that he cannot make calls but must answer if someone calls. He provides Leo with an address for a hotel and instructs him to park the truck there and leave for an hour. Understanding the instructions, Leo exits and carries out the task as directed for the first run. After an hour, he returns to check his truck and finds an envelope on the dashboard filled with a large sum of money. Realizing that the earnings from this job are far greater than he had anticipated, Leo later attends his granddaughter's wedding, but Jenny and Helen keep their distance from him. Afterward, Leo purchases a brand new truck and returns to the same address. Everyone praises him, and he is sent for a second run, but this time he is given a new phone instead of the old one. Leo sets off again. The scene shifts to the chief of the American Federal Office, who has called in an officer named Shadi. The chief explains that large quantities of drug consignments are arriving in the country daily, making it crucial to apprehend them. Following this, Shadi begins an investigation with his team at a location called Kantai, where suspicious activities are reported. One day, they identify a person named Lewis who is involved in the supply chain. The authorities raid Lewis's home, seizing $400,000 in cash and several kilos of narcotics. While arresting Lewis, he is informed that the crime he has committed carries a 60-year sentence. Terrified, Lewis offers to work for them and provide information about other individuals if they let him go. The authorities accept this offer, believing it is more important to catch other key players than to keep Lewis. He begins to share information, which helps the authorities significantly. Meanwhile, Leo is continuing his regular deliveries without realizing what he is transporting. He was instructed not to open the bags, or he would not get paid, so he keeps them sealed. By working, he earns enough money to return to the bank and buy back his house, which he had lost earlier. Now he is happily living in his home. One day, Leo visits his club that was recently burned down in an accident. The club owner informs him that the government is not providing any assistance and funds are insufficient. Hearing this, Leo decides to help them in some way. He sets out for a third run. This time, he is given a more loaded bag and a new phone. The instructions remain the same, but this time Leo, out of curiosity, opens the bag to find several kilos of narcotic powder. This shocks him, but he quickly closes the bag and heads onto the highway. On the way, a police officer stops him and asks if there is a problem. Leo replies that he is just taking a break, but the officer's gaze falls on the bag, and his dog becomes alert to it. Cleverly, Leo applies a bomb to his hands, confusing the dog, allowing him to escape. He narrowly avoids being caught due to his cleverness. The authorities are making every effort to quickly apprehend all the gangs. Meanwhile, Leo uses the money he earns from his deliveries to help rebuild the club, and it reopens. Everyone begins to see Leo as a hero because he accomplished what the government could not. He also allocates funds for his granddaughter's education, which makes her very happy. In Mexico, Leighton orders his trusted associate to ensure Leo's protection since he is making crucial deliveries. Julia accompanies Leo on each run to prevent any complications. Leo has now become an expert driver and discards his phone after every trip. Julia and her team continuously pursue him. During the 8th run, Leo notices a family with a broken-down vehicle. He assists them, even though he was not permitted to do so. After completing his delivery, the locals become alarmed when they see an elderly man, but Julia reassures them that it is their Leo. He then receives his payment. Julia calls Leighton to inform him that Leo has broken the rules today, but Leighton responds that Leo is proving very beneficial to them, so let him operate as he sees fit. One day, Lewis makes a delivery at a post where a vehicle is always parked for orders. The individuals in charge of an area are referred to as carters, and there are millions of carters throughout America. Cleverly, Lewis steals a diary from the car of a carter that contains all the records, such as who delivers how much, in which vehicle, and when. Among the list is a person named El Tata, who delivers over 100 kilograms of goods per run, which astonishes Best. It also notes that he operates in a black truck. This implies that El Tata is actually Leo's codename, and Lewis is praised for making this connection possible. He will not be going to jail now. Best informs his chief about this, who is surprised and gives Best full authority to capture Leo at any cost. Meanwhile, Julia and William have their first conversation. One day, a police officer detains Julia, suspecting her of being a supplier, but she escapes solely due to Leighton's influence. At that moment, Leo arrives and explains the situation to the officer, allowing them to leave. This strengthens their bond, and Leo continues his delivery work. Each day he delivers packages, earning millions of dollars in return. One day, while checking his bank account, Leo realizes that after one more delivery, another zero will be added to his balance, but he cannot comprehend whether this is a cause for joy or sorrow. Leo learns that he has set a new record by delivering 250 kilograms of goods at once, which no one has done before. When Leighton learns of this, he invites Leo to Mexico for a party. Leighton praises him highly, and they both enjoy themselves. Meanwhile, Best and his team are trying to capture Leo but have yet to find any leads. One day, while Leighton is practicing shooting, some of his inner circle assassinate him. After Leighton's death, a new person takes over the business and calls Julia to inform her that the operations have changed, and everything must be executed swiftly. All suppliers are informed that no further delays will be tolerated. One morning, the gang takes Leo into the woods and shows him Julie's corpse, threatening him that if he makes one more mistake, he will meet the same fate. Beast has already gotten close to Leo and manages to stop his truck one day, but neither Leo nor any cargo is present. Nevertheless, Beast believes he is very close to Leo. Leo sets out for his 12th run, but during this time, Lewis discovers which hotel they are staying at and immediately informs Beast. This leads Beast and his men to lie in wait outside the hotel. The next morning, Leo goes downstairs for coffee and meets 20 there. They talk for a long time, during which 20 shares his marital troubles. Leo advises him not to repeat the mistakes he made and to spend as much time as possible with his family, as he might not get another chance. After that, Leo sets off for his next run. However, he receives a call from his wife, who informs him that his grandmother's health has deteriorated, so he needs to return home quickly. What should Leo do? He was warned yesterday that if he makes another mistake, he could end up like Julie, but if he doesn't return now, he might never get the chance to apologize to his wife. Therefore, he decides to turn his car around. Aware of the severe danger to his life, he still chooses to turn back because, for him, family is more important today. Upon reaching home, he apologizes to his wife, Helm, for all his mistakes. He then talks to his daughter, explaining that perhaps his greed for money had blinded him, preventing him from properly caring for his family. Meanwhile, the gang's men are continuously trying to call Leo, but his phone is off. They decide to find Leo and kill him. Lewis learns that a supplier has gone missing, and no one seems to know anything about it. Lewis thinks this is a perfect opportunity. Beast reports this to his boss, but the boss says they have wasted too much time on Leo without any benefit, so they should drop it. Then, 20 suggests that he be given one last chance, just one last chance. On the other hand, Helm's health continues to worsen, but Leo remains by her side, sharing his heartfelt thoughts during her final moments. One day, his wife passes away, leaving Leo devastated because he had spent so little time with her. The entire family gathers for the funeral, where his daughter invites Leo to dinner. He agrees to come but says he has some work to do first. He starts his work, but during this time, the gang sees him and captures him. When they find out that his wife has died, they call the gang to inform them, but the gang says that no one can break their rules. As soon as his work is done, he must be killed. 20 is listening to all this. He has set a GPS and is tracking Leo. The call was made from Leo's number, so the gang ends up on the same road as Leo. Before long, a full police team apprehends him. When Beast sees him, he remembers that this is the same old man he saw in the coffee shop. He can't believe that Leo, at such an age, committed such a crime. However, Leo tells Beast that whatever happened, he deserved it because what he did was disgraceful for a supplier. But the best part for him was that he spent some time with his family before his death. When Leo's trial is held in court, his lawyer tries to save him, but Leo stands up and says that he deserves punishment for the despicable acts he committed. The judge sentences him to 45 years in prison. Yes, 45 years. As he leaves, Leo meets his family and apologizes once more. He says that today he has enough money to buy anything, but he cannot buy time. At the end of the story, we see that Leo had resumed gardening in prison, but he couldn't serve his entire sentence because he died before that. To this day, no one has been able to break his record, the old supplier who earned $240 million in just 5 months. I kindly request you to help me reach 10,000 subscribers on my channel soon. We hope you all enjoyed this video and that you will like it. Please subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for your loving comments, and we'll see you in the next video.